Hello all, greetings. This is Gilles Manson. I wanted to come and say hello, wish you a good day. I'm going to pull a few cards. I'm going to discuss a few ideas, talk about this full moon in Cancer we just passed. I'm going to comment on cosmology and divinity through this painting and sing a song, which I'm going to sing the French song. I didn't think about the English song, but first I'm going to use this little tarot cards. It's a little Italian deck, traveling deck. I'm going to pull 10 cards. To see for this holiday, for today, for this Christmas Eve. So the situation is nothing short than the world. It is the whole world. It's the salvation. It is the fulfillment of destiny that is potential before us. What's around the situation is the Ace of Pentacles. So it is about the inner success manifested outwardly. What we see before us, there is a lot of major cards. What we see before us is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is about unfolding our own psychic powers, or unfolding our intuition, to allow ourselves to take the time to let this information come through. What we see in the distant past, in the subconscious, is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords tell us that we were kind of lost in the snow. We were condemning ourselves. We were blaming ourselves for certain things, and now we have let go. We have moved into balance, harmony, justice, and so it is about this justice that is coming, this balance, this harmony, this divine order. What we see in the near future, what's coming up right around the corner, is the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is about the idea of we want to break through the walls, but as we break the wall, we have to move forward, otherwise the roof might fall on us. So personally, I'm getting ready to move out, to prepare my move from here, and so I'm going to be, everything is happening. So we're going to be able to let go of the old, in many sense. The strengths we have and who we are in this situation is the Two of Pentacle, which is the providence. It's a lucky card. It's a card of luck, of the unexpected good luck. What we see around us that comes to us from the outside world is the King of Swords. It is about business. It's about organization. It's about intelligent administration. And so there will be everything is getting a lot more together this year on a lot of level. What we see are in inner emotion. Hopes and fear is the Queen of Pentacles. So it's about luxury, abundance. It's about understanding that whatever we can look back at our past and see that it's been a desert, it's been cold, it's been dry, but now we are moved into a place where there is a great deal of potential or even actual that is flourishing, and so enjoying this flourishing and moving one step at a time also. And the outcome will be the Wheel of Fortune. A total new something that the wheel has turned. It's a new beginning. It is something that as we let go of the past, the future will definitely show a great deal of newness that will be coming, and that is already here if we can feel it. Well, I hope this has resonated with you. We just passed the full moon in Cancer. That was really hard for a lot of people, for myself included. For there was the deep core issues that were coming back, deep fear, the darkest of the darkest, may come from past life, we don't even know. But since it was a 0-degree Cancer, and when a planet, for those who are interested in astrology, who know astrology, the closer it is to the 0 degree, the more intense it is. As it moves towards the end, it gets less and less and less intense. And 0-degree Cancer, the moon in Cancer, with emotion become exalted, and so a lot of people that I know that were alone during those holidays felt really depressed. And for those who are in families, everything was probably much better or fine. But for those who are not, so all kinds of things would come back, and so it was needed to be released. And so we have the gratitude that we have released those old fear. And so I'm going to comment on this painting. It's a painting that about the 7 families of spirit beings. It's about the company of heaven. It's inspired by the Urantia book. The Urantia book is a big book of revelation. Although it hides a lot of things, doesn't talk about the elemental, the natural God, the cosmic gods, It doesn't talk about reincarnation. I always found wondering why the Aurangzeb denies the samsara. For I know I have had hundreds of lifetimes here, and some of them are very clear to me. I cannot deny that. Yet the Aurangzeb said no, it does not exist. But it is an opportunity that was revealed in the early 20th century to give an opportunity to men, if they believe that the samsara, that you do not reincarnate, and your consciousness at the end of this life, you can move directly into the celestial plane and start your ascent into paradise. So you can escape. It was a way to escape the samsara, not the reincarnation process. However, we have signed up for a certain contract, and we're going to fulfill that contract, whatever that is. So here it's organized around the 7 great families of spirit. The first family is the paradise deity, the great I am, the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. It's the only one. There's 3 different beings, but they're eternally united. They're coexistential, eternal. And all things and all beings are come from God. There is no from paradise and from God. There is no one and nothing. We all come from there, and we'll all have to return. Sometimes it's very long, the past, but we'll have no choice but to return to that great source. So that is an existential. This is 3 existential and finite absolutes. Then there is 7 co-absolutes. Just to go briefly, there is so there's Father, Son, and Spirit are existential and finite infinities. The paradise is an absolute material reality. It's not deity. It's an absolute reality that responds to the will of God. And then there are 3 absolutes of potentiality, which is the unqualified absolute, the deity absolute, and the universal absolute. The unqualified absolute is a very mysterious force that englobes all things, that is non-personal and beyond anything that's manifested. The deity absolute will eventually become the highest level of realization, and the universal absolute is the equalizer between the personal and the impersonal. For we know those forces exist, but they're very mysterious. Even on paradise, they are not seen or known except by the gods. But we know they exist because they already have acted on certain level. And then there is the 3 level of God attainment, which is the supremacy, the ultimacy, and the absoluteness. Right now, we're working in supremacy. We are part of the time and space. We're the beginning of the cosmos, the really early beginning, although it's a lot, the universe is a lot older than what the contemporary scientists believe. It's been going on for a lot longer, but it's still young, and it's still growing. And so once the whole 7 super universe will have attained the stage of light and life, everything will be moved, and the Supreme will come out as a perfect manifestation of all the facets of all the beings that have achieved that light and life, until the whole time and space process have not been perfected. The Supreme is still growing and evolving. And so once we discover the Supreme, we find that there is the universal Father behind it, I'm sure, and then we'll be sent. We find the Supreme, we attain paradise, we'll be sent into transcendent. First as a finaliter, we will attain the court of finality, and we'll be sent to the other 6 super universe that we do not know, 6 to understand the 6 other paths of ascension. But since we come from a planet that's been in rebellion, we will be mustered into. First, we'll be mustered into the corp of finality, but we'll be stricken out from those lists and be trinitized, become mighty messengers, those high in authority or those without name and numbers. So we'll become final beings in relationship to time and space, to this era. So we'll realize the Supreme, and then beyond the Supreme, there are 4 levels of humongous galactic clusters that are in formation ever further and further away from paradise, that are the 4 levels of outer space. It's called outer space. They are transcendental universe. They will not be evolving. They are not evolutive universe. They have but they will have to traverse the super universe on their way to paradise. But those levels will only be inaugurated when all of time and space will have been settled in light and life, and the Supreme will have taken the full control of all this space domain. So we'll be at which point, once we realize the 4 levels of outer space, the Absonite, the transcendental universes of the future, will be looking for the ultimate, and then the Supreme ultimate, and then beyond the master universe, we will be seeking the deity absolute, which is all the Maya present showed me that those beings already exist within us. They already but they're very, very. It's a step-by-step process of realization. Here we have the Supreme, the Ultimate, the Absolute. Here it's represented there is one character with a question mark. It represents the thousands and thousands of orders that are not revealed. Here we have the pre-personal spirits. like the I am presence is a fragment of deity, because God as a person creates, God as a pre-person fragments, and God as a super person eventuate. So here is the I am presence on Paradise, but there are also the gravity messengers and all kinds of other fragmentation of deity that we do not know. Here there is this green sun, and the sun, and it's symbolic of the super personal aspect of deity. Here we have the architects of the master universe and the transcendental associates, because when God created the time and space, the universe of time and space on Paradise, there was a reaction. There was 1,000 different orders of absonite beings that eventuated in response as a future echo of what will happen after time and space. Those beings are not creator, and they are not created either. They're just absonites. So the mysterious beings, but they're contactable. I've been in touch with some of them. I've been in touch with some of them because of my spiritual research, but even we're not really allowed to talk much about that. So there is the architects of the master universe. There are only 28,011 of them. There'll never be more than that. There is the primary eventuated master force organizer, the secondary eventuated associate force organizer. Those are the beings that use the primary energy of space and create the nebulas, the nebulas and the galaxies. So they're like and so they work with the architects, because everything is part of an architecture that we'll discover. And then there is the transcendental recorders. Here we have the Finaliter Corps, is the beings that have attained paradise. Ever since there was the first mortal beings that attained paradise, growing from that, those corps of finality have come into existence. There are 6 of them. The 7 of them, the 7 ones, is kind of mysterious. We don't know yet. And so the mortal corps of finality is the primal corps, so will become eventually citizen of paradise. Here we have the Supreme Spirit with the Master Spirit, the Supreme Executive, the Mother Spirit, because when the local universe is created, when God, Father and the Son create the perfect infinite personalities as the Creator Son, which is the Father of a local universe, and then there is an immediate reaction from the infinite Spirit that creates a daughter of the infinite Spirit, which is a perfect feminine complement of the Creator Son. And for millions of years, billions of years, they rehearse their plan and project in the central universe, and then eventually they send into space and time, to a space location, and they unfold their own plans of evolution within their own super universe. The Mother Spirit has the adjusted mind spirit, which is like a space presence. She's centralized at the center of our local universe, but she's everywhere present. When the Creator Son of is also a universal presence, but it doesn't have the same function. And as the universe grows and evolves, those forces are getting more and more powers to work together and unfold new level of reality. Then here there is the 7 circuits of the Avonas circles, the gravity messengers, and here there's the 49 reflective spirits. There were 49 reflective spirits that were created at the dawn of time, but then there was no cohesion, so the Supreme asked the Ultimate for cohesion, and the Deity Absolute created a being that's called Majeston. Is a mental being, is the center of all reflectivity on Paradise, and he coordinates the effort of the seven groups of reflective spirits that are used by the union used by the Ancient of Days, which are they work by 3 at each headquarters. There was 21 of them, each at the center of each super universe. There are 3. They are super administrators, and so in order to understand the attitudes of deity, they use those reflective spirit, but they need an image aid to translate the vision. And so this is those Paradise reflective spirits. Then we have the Trinity origin beings with the Trinitized secrets of supremacy that works on the first satellites of the Father sphere, the Eternal of Days that works on the billion sphere of the central universe, the Ancient of Days that are the super administrators of the super universe. And then on the major sector, they are the perfection of days. In the minor sector, there is the recent of days. And then the union and the faithful of days are counselors to the Creator Son at the center of our local universe. And they are the counselors of the constellation Father at the head of the constellation, but they never act or offer guidance unless they are asked for. But they are like Trinity guidance for whenever there is a need for assistance from a higher beings, because those beings are higher even than the Creator Sun. So they can provide great guidance. And then there is the coordinate Trinity origin beings with the divine counselors, the perfecters of wisdom, the universal censors, the paradise citizens, the Avona natives, the Trinity inspired spirits, which are very mysterious beings. We don't really know much, but I've been shown their presence here and there, which I was quite excited when I could see that. And the Trinity teacher sons, those are only a few that are revealed. But those are perfect divine beings that were created perfect eternally. They never faltered. They were created perfect. Then here we have the families of the family of the infinite spirits, with the higher spirits, with the solitary messenger, and those are the higher spirit, the messenger host of space, and the ministering spirits of time, with the supernaphem, the seconaphem, the tertiaphem, the omniaphem, the seraphim, the cherubim, the sanobim, and the midway creatures, the family of the infinite spirit. After here we have the sons of God, sons and daughters of God, of course. And here there is only a few that are revealed. I'm just using I'm kind of an expert of the Urantia book, maybe noted. I've been working with those ideas for a very long time, and they're well anchored, that I'm able to communicate sometimes with some of those spirits. So the highest order that is revealed is the order of Michael, the Creator Sons. Then there is the Avonor, which is they are assistant to the Creator Sons, because the Creator Son is going to, like Christ as a Creator Son came to do the bestowal mission here on the planet, but he's doing only one bestowal, but there are millions of planets in his universe, and so the Avonor are fulfilling those missions as well as many other missions. Then there is the Denal, the Trinity Teacher Sons, that are also represented here. So those also are here. They're very close. I saw them. Usually they come when the planet is ready to be spiritualized. They appear in the world as 144,000 beings that descend from the higher plane. They don't incarnate, and just descend and spiritualize the world. So it is kind of surprising that they're already here, because this world is so far away from being spiritualized, but we may be surprised by certain of the things we will see in our own lifetime that will be happening. So that those are descending sons of God, from those are paradise sons. And then there is from the local universe, the highest order is the Melchizedek, then the Varonandek, which are the constellation father, the Lanonandek, which are the system rulers, and the life carriers, which are the ones that bring the life into the planets. Then we are ascending sons of God, that's part of the way we are, the Father fuse, the Son fuse, the Spirit fuse, the personalized adjusters, the material sons, the seraphim, so there is other beings that are also ascending with us. And then there is the Trinity origin beings, who will eventually belong to that part, for there is all kinds of angelic beings that are also being trinitized, that are made whole by the gods. And so those are our destiny in this present day and age will be to become a mighty messenger, one high in authority, or one without name and number, depending on our own specifics. Then here is the power directors, the power centers, the energy controllers, and those are we don't really meet them. They're just they're holy business. They contract, or they expand the energy in the whole cosmos. They're controlling all and they're also making all the celestial sphere works with light and water and all the. Here there is all kinds of mysterious orders that have been represented, the non-classified order. There is this one being that I was very curious. It's called the consumer of the universe destiny. The universe is so big, and it's going to be in such a long time. My first thought about him was has to be really patient before he comes into play, because it's going to take eons and eons and eons and eons before the whole master universe has fulfilled his outermost infinity. Not infinity, but his outermost expansion. And the only thing I was revealed is that it will be spectacular beyond anything else. When the destiny, I don't know if those, because are the destiny of our own local universe to muse into light and life, there is 7 degrees, 7 level of light and life, and then we become. on the orbit of our whole universe, when it's settled in light and life, becomes settled around the great center, and so and then eventually all the universe will have fused into light and life, and so but we'll see about that later. Here we have the universe 8 with the bright and morning star. The evening stars, the archangels, and other spirit assistants, super angelic assistants. Here we have the permanent citizens of the universe. So we'll be here. We'll be as paradise citizens when we'll have achieved that status. There is the paradise citizen, the citizen of the farther sphere, the satellites of the first ring of satellite around paradise, the citizen of the spirit sphere, the third ring of satellite around paradise. Then there is the inhabitant of the super universe, of Uversa, with the sun-fused mortals, the inhabitant of the central sphere of the local universe, with the spirit-fused mortals, and there is the material suns and the midway creatures, and so. And here is the courtesy colonies. Those are like the artists of heaven. For there is the reserve corps, the visiting student, the ascending pelerin, the reverse director, which is the humorist of heaven. It's because we'll need humor still to discharge past problem. And when we get to paradise, we won't need that because we'll have worship, and so we won't need that. And then the star students, those celestial star students, and then there is the celestial artisans, which it's a corps that we, as a sender, will be able to get into, as if we want to move into as an artist. But we don't work on over there. They don't work on canvases. They work in the sky, like the angels do with the sunsets, and they create. There is all kinds of art, new artistries that we'll be discovering as we ascend. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I think I covered most of the painting, and here there's like this person that's like coming out. It's like this absolute, looking at the absolute. It's like a final ambition. I'm going to pull a few cards from the Akash and finish with this song. What is the highest wisdom for us today? Is the angels, is to tune in to that frequency of bliss, of joy, of happiness. What we need to understand is biblical, to align ourselves with our function, our mission, with our creator, with our source, and to become, to understand the meaning of things, to understand the meaning of life, the meaning, the understanding, the great, it's a great story that is unfolding, and so understanding those revelation as well. What we need to do is love life. Or there's a great deal of romance. I feel I've been liberated from so many things. I feel a lot of romance will be coming into my life. Really, it's not about quantity. It's about quality, of course. But it's about not forgetting that we need to allow ourselves to pay attention to that, to open ourselves to the possibility of love and romance and intimacy. And the outcome will be the farm, the ability to nourish ourselves and nourish others, to be able to grow, and to expand our consciousness through that understanding, that connection to the earth. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I'm going to finish with a song. It's a song that's, in a sense, it's a bit like Dust in the Wind of the band Kansas, but it's a French song about this rose that's so beautiful, but it's got a very ephemeral life. And so, seize the day, carpe diem. Goes like this. On est bien peu de choses, et mon ami la rose me l'a dit ce matin. À l'aurore je suis née, baptisée de rosée, je me suis épanouie, heureuse et amoureuse, au rayon du soleil, je me suis fermée la nuit, je me suis réveillée vieille. Pourtant j'étais très belle, oui j'étais la plus belle des fleurs de ton jardin. On est bien peu de choses, et mon ami la rose me l'a dit ce matin. Vois le Dieu qui m'a faite, me fait courber la tête, et je sens que je tombe, et je sens que je tombe, mon cœur est presque nu, j'ai le pied dans la tombe, déjà je ne suis plus. Tu m'admirais hier, et je serai poussière pour toujours demain. On est bien peu de choses, et mon amie la rose est morte ce matin. La lune cette nuit a veillé mon ami, moi en rêve je l'ai vue, éblouissante et nue, son âme qui dansait bien au-delà des nues et qui me souriait. Crois celui qui peut croire, moi j'ai besoin d'espoir, sinon je ne suis rien. Ou bien si peu de choses, c'est mon ami la rose qui l'a dit hier matin. Well, on those words, I wish you a wonderful, wonderful Christmas Eve. I send you my light, love, and blessings, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.